everybody, it's Jeff with Chief Classics. Today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going down to Lincoln, Nebraska. Business partner bought a car on an auction down there. It's a 1970 Oldsmobile W-31 clone. I really don't know much about it. I don't know if it's an F85, a Cutlass, or what have you. I know it has a 455 in it, which probably is not original. It has a 4-speed. I don't know if it's an original 4-speed car. I'm driving blind here. I got a rough idea where it's at. Oh, good, it's starting to rain. So let's do our best to pick apart this car once we get there and see what we like and what we don't like. Well, here he is. This thing is way better than what I initially expected. Cool, it does have a fiberglass hood on it. We got some cracks. You can feel the raised difference between the pinstripes and the paint there. But all in all, not bad. Oh, this little piece doesn't match. These hood pins are killer, aren't they? How do you operate these suckers? Let me use my good hand. There we go. Does this have a safety catch? That seemed to have done nothing. We got a release inside here. Oh, no release. I'll have to study that later. Boy, this thing smells like mothballs. Yeah, sure enough. Door's shut nice. Golly, how old are these tires? We got a date code on here. Not that I know how to read anyhow. Nope. A little bit of weather checking. Not bad though. Really good looking car. I love this paint. This has always been my favorite paint color for these things. Okay, so it is a Cutlass. Cool. We got a little body work coming out back here. I don't know if this is a frame off job or not. We'll have to get underneath it and tell. I would be surprised. Tires don't match. They're getting pretty thin. This body gap's kind of goofy, but all in all, not bad for a painted car that was redone. What are these? We got pedals. Wonder what's wrong with our current ones. Interior doesn't look bad. The seat's kind of goofy. New door cards, new carpet. Dash panel's not bad. Headliner's all right. Got a Hurst shifter in him. Non-tilt, non-AC. Golly, this thing is fragrant. I wish we had smell-o-vision. What do we got here? We got some new floor mats. Lots of mothballs. This one shuts all right. Shuts like it has new weather stripping. Pretty good. Not bad for what he paid. Is there a release down here? There we go. Bear with me here. This is literally my first time opening one of these hoods. Oh man. Oh, we got some goodies. MSD 6A box. Oh, this thing's got aluminum heads on it. Mother of pearl. This thing's gonna be a runner, man. I can't see a brand on them. Nice Edelbrock intake, cast aluminum valve covers, plenty of black oil. So there was some questions as to which it was a real, oh my gosh, as to which it was a real W30. And apparently the indicator is in the VIN. This has a Z in the VIN for, I think, being built in California, and allegedly all W cars were built in Lansing, Michigan. So And apparently, I don't know if it's with the 70s, but at least 69s, the W cars didn't get power brakes, and this has power brakes, power steering. Oh, and the W-31s were small block cars, and this is very obviously a 455 big block. Golly, look at them headers on that thing. What do we have for a carb? We've got a Holley of some flavor with the electric choke guts taken out of it. All MSD ignition. This really cool K&N air filter. So it's not, no, it's not a Ram air car, or a, what do they call it? The OAI something air intake. I don't recall exactly. But nope, not a W-31, but it got the cool W-31 paint scheme and the cool W-31 hood. Okay, so that does go all the way through. Cool, that's open back there above the air filter. That's killer. Man. We got some new brake lines going on. Power brakes, headers. Looks like a new battery, that's good. Yeah, that was bought 2 months ago. All right, what's our coolant situation look like? New alternator. Oh, this still had pressure in it. It's down a little, but it doesn't look like it's leaked. We got coolant. All right, I'm gonna get that dipstick wrestled back in there, and then we'll try to fire this thing, because I'd like to get, this is just a mud pit out here. I'd like to get it out of here a little bit further. So we came down here to look at some other vehicles too. This is, we weren't looking at this one, but this is the second one of these I've only ever seen. And another, what, 63 F85? Not sure. Kind of looking more like Chevy 2s than a full-sized A-body car. Convertible, looks pretty straight. Older restoration, automatic. This was another one that we were interested in. 67 Grand Prix, so there was about 5,400 67 Grand Prix convertibles made, and 67 was the only year for the convertible. Now, this thing allegedly had 20,000 original miles on it, but 12,000 original miles, excuse me, but I don't believe that for a second. Tilt column, 8 lugs. Pretty cool though. I think it went for like 2,000 bucks. There was allegedly another 67 Grand Prix out here somewhere. Man, this is bad. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through here. Spinning ain't winning, and it's uphill. We got cruising in our 5.0, or however that song goes. There's an alternator box chilling out on the ground. Don't shut door. Okay, you got it. Automatic car. Looks really clean. Convertible, of course. Pretty cool. I don't know what in the blue hell this thing is. This is like a Marauder. Park Lane. Never have I ever. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh, I wonder if that middle window rolls down. Kind of looks like it. A lot of trim on them. We're getting into some Malaise era goodness here. Seville Cadillac. Neat black leather. That's pretty neat. Comes with a lick tub full of hubcaps. We got the old C20. Well, it doesn't have lockouts, but I wonder if it's a full-time. It's a full-time 4x4. Cool. Plow truck. I'm not gonna go back there because I don't think any of that was on the sale. Got the old Crown Vicky. These are really good cars. If you come across one of these things cheap, I highly recommend picking one up. Tilt. Babe, the big blue ox leather in it. Two-tone even. That's cool. I've got No love for these things. 4100 digital fuel injection. Hopefully that's going straight to the scrapyard. This gold piece is pretty cool. That thing's pimp. Needs some yellow white walls on it and then you'll be good. Pretty snazzy. All right, let's try to get our old bus fired up and pointed downhill. That's gonna bug me. No, I'm not an overly tall man by any means, but I barely fit in this thing. Allegedly doesn't need a key. Hopefully that rings true. Got oil pressures. We got a working tack. Our head unit doesn't work. Oh, here we go. Son of a bee sting. I like how you can still see the outline of the original. We got anything good in here? This shifter is tight. You can barely tell that you're in neutral. I don't know if that's a good thing. Registration still up? Nope, expired. Parts? Yeah, year one. That feels heavy. Ooh, a bearing. I don't like seeing that. Yeah, that's another 4-speed setup for this thing. It looks new, is what it looks like. Oh, what did we win here? First! Valparaiso 05 Show and Shine Best Muscle Car. I believe it. This thing got an e-brake. Does it have regular brakes? The last thing I want to do is get this son of a biscuit stuck in a cornfield. Alright. Apparently if you put it in reverse with the ignition off, then it locks the column. Oh good, that door does shut. Getting a nice Cutlass all muddy was not on my list of things to do today. What is that sucker? That looks like a Buick of some flavor. Another drop top. We got a Nomad body over there. That is a Nomad. It's a two-door. Two-door Tri-5 Nomad wagon. It's got one of them hot for teacher cams. Either that or the idle is set too low. You just stay running, little buddy. We'll get you fixed up. The thing probably has 5-year-old gas in it. I should have worn my muck boots today. That thing's pretty cool. Oh, it's a, I think it's a Wildcat. I think I see Wildcat on the air cleaner up there. That thing's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad either. Oh, 66 Buick Skylark convertible. Gosh, if only I could read. That's a mean looking old bus. We were gonna drive this home yesterday, but he couldn't meet me until way later on, so I just said, okay, I'll just come down here and get it. Which, judging by the way it's smoking and loading up on fuel right now, I don't think I'm really all that mad about that decision. Golly, does this go back any farther? Oh, that's just what I got. This thing needs a tilt column in a bad way, and some tape over that thing. Yeah, it wants a little help. That's a bit rich. Alright, try for reverse. Don't drive into the disc behind us. Don't get stuck either. First. I don't know about you, but I don't like driving manuals up onto trailers. So we're gonna, oh, I needed to go back a little bit though. I need some space. We're gonna kill the lights here and get them winched on. Well, we got them up in the air now. Not bad at all. I'm pretty pleased, honestly. The paint's not bad. You can see there's some sand marks, old color underneath. It got kind of thin up front here too. I wonder why that was. And the detail's not super by any means, but it's a good driver. We got some bubbles, rust coming back. I'm not sure how long ago this restoration was done, but I'm guessing over 10 years. Frame looks fine. Got some big honking exhaust on him. Yeah, if they're gonna rust out, it's typically gonna be right here. Man, no wonder the tires don't match though. I bet he went through tires on this sucker. Looks like it could have originally been yellow or red. Got some JB weld on the fender. Not bad though. Oh, what is going on with that differential? Look at that cover. That's got a 12 bolt in it. We got poly bushings. Looks like energy suspension bushings. Man, I wonder what gears this thing has. That's a crazy looking cover on this sucker. That's cool. Big exhaust. This thing just needs some loving and it's gonna be ripping. Man. I'm on the fence as to how I feel about the rear ends. Sometimes I feel like they need a spoiler. Sometimes I don't. I gotta remember the Chevelles don't, and they look fine. Oh, I got some pinstriping going on. That sucks. That looks recent. A little bit of rust bubbling out here. Wonder if we can see a date on these tires. 45th week of 2007. So that was probably about the time it was restored. It's got a few miles on the restoration then. They got driven. And that's what's going to continue to happen to it. This is going to be an excellent driver. Once we tune them up and get a tilt column put in there, either that or put seat extenders on it, because that is way too close for my liking. All right, let's throw some chains on them and go home. All righty. Boy, the generator light was buzzing like a beehive when I first started it. Now it seems okay though. Okay. Yeah, there it goes again. Needs one of them contactless voltage regulators in it. There it goes, trying to start it in third again. Just a little bit radical. It's got just enough camshaft where it's little, I don't know, it's not making power quite yet at low RPMs. We've got good vitals though, still pretty cool if it works at all. Got good oil pressure as per the gauge. 2,000 RPMs, 3/4 of a tank. Brakes feel good. Their power, their discs up front. Wish we had a damn radio though. Just make my life. There's first. Good job, Jeff. You got it this time. Second. Still cold, but that was a good hiccup. It caught itself, but it's got a hiccup. doesn't sound like an M22 with straight cut gears. It's probably an M20 or M21 four-speed. Pretty good. Man, we got a son of a bitchin' traffic jam up here. Coming from all sides. I'm gonna have to pay attention. Oh, that's just the Dunklows? Ah, it's just the Dunklows. I think. Dandy Randy. There's first gear or third gear again. Oh, doggies. Yeah, once you get it wound up, it does okay, but it's a little sick. We gotta lay our eyes on some things and figure out what the heck. That carburetor on it's pretty fuzzy, like it's been leaking, and I think this thing had sat for a bit. We'll get it in the shop, pull the plugs. I'm sure that it's richer than Joel Osteen. We'll give her a good once, twice over. All right, Jeffrey, first gear this time. Once you get it wound up, it does pretty good, but it needs some fine tuning. What's blinking? I gotta turn my blinker on somehow. What did I do that for? Yeah, we gotta backfire out the exhaust when you let off. It's alright, probably could have drove it home if there were two of us. The tire's pretty low. They feel kind of goofy. Why does the blinker slow down when the car slows down? Alright, we'll get to it. Alrighty, we got the old Cutlass back in here. As you can see, our tires showed up. We got some 275 60 15s Koopa Cobras. Got them online from, what was it, Tire Gator down in Texas. Things were like 151 a piece shipped. That was hard to beat. We're gonna throw them on. First, we gotta get this thing running a little better. We got some pops out the exhaust on deceleration, so I'm wondering about the happiness of the carburetor. And before we get any heat in this engine, just for laughs, we're gonna throw some plugs in it. It's cheap insurance. The thing was obviously running and smoking poorly when we got it, so chances are the plugs could be fouled too. So we're gonna swap those out first. That way we've got a good place to start with, and then we'll dive into the carburetor. Here's what we got shaking. Middle two are brown, which is what we kind of like to see. Front and back were kind of city. This front one on the passenger side, though, look how rusty the tip of that thing was. Wonder how that happened. And over here we got brown, black, and then wet, because there wasn't a plug wire on that one. So that'll help it run a little bit better. But we got to figure out what our gap is on these things, because I don't think these are stock plugs, because those are not stock heads, I think. I don't think that they're original Oldsmobile aluminum heads, but I could be wrong. Anyways, we'll get a gap measured here. We'll apply that to our new plugs. So I took the best looking plug I could find, burning nice biscuit brown, and it's at 35 thousandths, which I thought seemed kind of small, especially considering this is not a points ignition system anymore, but the plug was burning well, so we're gonna go at 35 thousandths again. These have obviously been like this for some time and it looks all right, so screw it, 35 thousandths it is. Here's our carburetor. We have a 750 CFM dual feed vacuum secondary Holley carb that was originally equipped with the electric choke, but for whatever reason now the choke mechanism has been removed and it's just been zip tied open. So we have no choke action, it's just open all the time, which explains why it kind of acts goofy when it's warming up. So I'm going to try to source one of those. I don't know why it was removed. I can't think of a good reason for it to be removed. So I'll find one of those. But something I noticed is that, well, aside from the 22 shell as the vacuum plug, it's hard to see, but our front float level is a bit high. See how you can see it in the sight glass? It's about a little under midway up the sight glass, and you really want that float level to be right at the bottom of the glass. And then in the back, you can't even see it, it's a bit lower. So we need to get our float levels evened out, and then we will adjust our mixture screws as well at the same time. But I don't want to do that right now, mainly because it's like 103 degrees out. I got the door shut and we're keeping it at about 82, 83 degrees in here. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, so we'll do that in the morning. But for right now, I want to get underneath this thing because we've got something goofy going on the front end. One of these tires is wore, this one's wore, it's chopped on the outside. So we're gonna get a little bit of elevation under the tires, get a pry bar under there, and move the wheels around and see where our slack is at. So it's hard to tell, but this entire tire is chopped, cupped, scalloped, whatever you want to call it. And I may have found the problemo. We got some slack in our pitman arm. I'll see if I can get you to see that. I got this driver's front tire barely off the ground. I'm going to shake it back and forth, and you can see that pitman arm wobbling. It's moving around on the steering box end. So I'm going to get us a new pitman arm coming. Hopefully that takes up all of our slack and keeps us from chopping our tires. I suppose we're waiting on parts now. Our pitman arm's going to be here, I don't know when, because it's coming off of eBay. The electric choke piece will be here tomorrow from O'Reilly's, and when I go there tomorrow, I'll get my new oil filter as well. So we're gaining, we're coming along. For right now, we're going to get the wheels ripped off of it, swap our tires out, balance them, stick them back on. That one's chopped. Well, probably both the front ones are chopped. They're starting to crack, and then these back ones are getting pretty ungood cracks on the sidewall here. So we're gonna fix that before we have to fix it. Here's a life hack for you fellas. Broke that stud taking that nut off. Got another one, pulled my drum, and then I took two big heavy flat washers, coated them in grease on both sides, and put a lug nut on backwards onto that stud. And now, if it bites, there we go, we'll just be able to draw that stud in. There we go, it's in. Simple as dirt. Well, first look under the car, it looks pretty sanitary. Got some grease slinging off that front U-joint, so I don't know if it got over greased or if that U-joint's going out. It feels fine. I don't feel any play in it. Our transmission is a little damp. Well, That's why we don't have reverse, or reverse lights, I should say, is that little dongers broke off. And this wouldn't have been my first way to weld headers together. The collectors, I should say. They just welded the collector straight to the pipe and then used a band to join it to the pipe, which looks kind of ugly, but probably works. Okay, there's our... This does have the ignition lockout still, so that's good. It'd be gooder if I had a key for it, but I don't know where that's at the moment. We got a mini starter. Looks like just a regular clutch. It's not painted or anything. Looks like we might have had some floor work done because these floors look way too nice. Yeah, I'm betting we did. I bet it had front pans put in it. It's looking like it. I don't know if they were welded or just purely glued, because there's definitely seam sealer on there, but I don't know, I don't see welds. I can't tell. Maybe I'd be able to see it on the other side. It's all been painted, it's hard telling, but it at least doesn't look like they got cut out with a dull chisel. The rest of the pans look fine. We had a new body plug glued in right there. Frame looks good. I got some Flowmasters out back. Oh, and some boxed lower control arms, and what looks like a big old heavy aftermarket sway bar. I got some goodies thrown at it. Not bad, yeah. Overall, the floor looks pretty good. That's the status of the e-brake cable. No wonder it didn't work. I don't know why it's got a muffler clamp on it, but I need to find another one of them little dongers to tie that e-brake wire to the cross member. And then this exhaust clamp is loose. Oh, and mostly we have this abomination going on for an electric fuel pump. I think I can clean that up and make that look a little nicer, because I can't believe that fuel is flowing through here and not spraying even. You can see that it's wet, but that's one hellacious approach there. So we're gonna drop the oil and we're gonna try to figure this out, make that look a lot nicer. Oh yeah, and kids, make sure you always zip tie your power wire to your fuel pump to your rubber fuel hose. Just kidding, don't do that ever, please. We don't have the nicest exhaust system in the world, but it's pretty decent. It's 2.5 inch. We got an H pipe. It's all mandrel bent. It looks really good. It just needs some maintenance, as you can see. We'll get you tightened up. Beautiful. I gotta find the bracket for that e-brake cable, but I'll just have to take that off another car. We've got fluid added to our diff, a little bit of oil, not much. Check the transmission. Do it on this upper plug up here. That's where you check the level at. That's good. Change the oil. I think all we have left to do under here is assess our big, ugly electric fuel pump. Got him back down on his feet, and boy, do those tires look mean. Cool. Wouldn't mind having 50 series in the back, but hard to pull off with stock wheels. Well, those are nice and thick. Man, this thing is good. All right, we'll torque the lug nuts, probably 100 pounds. Then we're gonna tune on this carb a little bit. I'm back at it with the Oldsmobile. Had to push it ahead last night, had to put the wife's car in here. We got some bad storms, but thankfully no hail. So I haven't actually ran this since we did some work to it with the plugs and the choke and all that happy stuff. Oh yeah, I got the choke wired up. Let's try, make sure we're in neutral so we don't run into that 2+2. 2 pumps. That's a lot better starting now. Heck yeah. That sounds good. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna let it warm up, back it up a little bit, and we'll set our float level. So this thing's running richer than Derek Bieri. And as you can see, if that gauge is accurate, we got about 8 psi of fuel pressure, which is definitely on the high side. And we've got so much fuel in our bowls that the fuel level is all the way up at the top of the sight glass on the front and the back. So I know it has an electric pump. I know it's only supposed to make 6 psi, but that's high. So I'm gonna go to town, get a fuel pressure regulator, and then we're gonna try this again. You see all that crap in that port? That is why you don't use thread tape with gas. So we got a new fuel pressure gauge to verify our fuel pressure, and we're gonna try to dig that thread tape out of that fuel line, and then we're gonna put in our pressure regulator, and then we'll see where we're at. Check it, this one's much more responsive. Pretty cool. Cool, we got our pressure regulator in line and our new fuel pressure gauge. The regulator is set to 5 psi. It's kind of on the low side, but let's see what the gauge does. For reference, 4 psi, 4.5 psi on the regulator is 6 psi on the gauge. So that's good that we know that, but that makes me feel a lot better. Now I don't think that we're over pressurizing it. And now we've got to set our float level. Our float level's still higher than I want it. So break loose your set screw with the screwdriver, and then you use the 5/8 wrench to lower the float level. Plenty snappy. I think we're gonna leave it there. I leaned out the mixture a little bit until I got optimal inches, optimal vacuum, and then I rigid it just a tick to kind of compensate for putting the air filter back on and closing the hood, because we're gonna have a little bit of a air restriction after that, but it's really close. It sounds a lot better too. Cool. I think like we got the engine portion of this thing whipped. Figured out that clutch pedal assembly laying on the floor is not for this. It fits a 67 Grand Prix. Forgot buddy bought some 4-speed Grand Prix stuff on that auction too and just threw it in the car. So, makes me feel better that the original owner did not have plans to put new pedals in this thing. Golly, this thing drives so much better now that it has tires from this decade. It really is a smooth driving car. This thing is cozy. It must have had a bunch of the suspension replaced because it really feels like you're in a newer vehicle. The seats are comfy, the suspension is good, the steering is good, the brakes are good. Acceleration's a lot better now. I cannot complain. It still needs two things really badly, and those two things are a tilt steering column and seat bracket extenders, because you can see my knees are pretty dang close to the dash and I'm as far back on the tracks as I can get. And I also feel like my head is touching the roof. But it's good. Thing's really cozy. I don't think our tach's right. It sure doesn't feel like we're spinning 3,500 RPMs at 60 especially, but I could be wrong. Well, it's just out here doing its thing. Look at that gold. Oh man, that is good. Sounds nice, tires look nice. Man, I think that one's hitting the bumper. Yeah. We'll remedy that. Goodness though, this thing is good, man. And it is a monster. Well, I love this car. Man, I can't tell you how happy I am with this thing. A little bit of tweaking went a long ways. Runs great now. Doesn't miss a beat. Starts easy. Drives good. Tires look awesome. I'm pleased. This turned out really well for a total unknown auction item. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think about this thing. See you next time.